Hi guys, my name is Matt and welcome to Walk Wild, the adventure travel blog where I talk about everything to do with hiking, outdoor adventures and around the world travel. Today I'm going to be telling you how to go wild camping in the UK. As always, before I start, please like and subscribe and show your support for the channel. It means so much to me if you do, and it helps me make more videos like this. So I'm going to split this video into two parts. First, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what wild camping is, and then I'm going to give you some tips on how you can do it. So firstly, what is wild camping? It's basically when you go out into an area of wilderness, a national park, an AONB, and you camp for the night. And it often involves some bushcraft, you've been hiking during the day, you're walking, and you just pitch a tent somewhere that isn't an officially designated campsite. You're probably thinking, well, yeah, that's fine, what's wrong with that? But in the UK, actually, there are some strange rules that make this a bit of a problem. So in Scotland, they have the 2003 Land Reform Act, which basically gives you a freedom to roam, and you're allowed to pitch in any of these rural areas in the national parks, no problem, and you're not going to get in trouble, and it's absolutely fine. Countries like Norway and Iceland also have this, but the rules differ slightly in England and Wales as well. Dartmoor National Park is actually the only place where you can do wild camping. You're not allowed to wild camp in the rest of England and Wales. Generally, they've created this because lots of the land is owned by farmers or by unseen sort of benefactors or just general people who you think the land is owned by the national park and it isn't. And they've created this to stop squatters or to stop vagrants, to stop people setting up camp and living there, having illegal raves and that kind of thing. And this is really annoying. It's really unfortunate because most people just want to pitch a tent for a night and to enjoy the nature and enjoy the area, but we're brought down by this whole rule for everyone else. So it's kind of frustrating. But, and this is a big but, so many people still go wild camping in the UK. People who go wild camping in all sorts of national parks and AONBs, and I go wild camping a lot as well. But the really clear thing here is to do it in such a way so that you don't impact anyone else, you don't impact the nature, and you don't stop people from enjoying the national park themselves or whatever wilderness area you're camping in. And so I'm going to tell you some tips for how you can do this without disturbing other people, and so you can get along and not get in trouble and all that kind of thing. So firstly, a really easy way to get around wild camping is to just contact the landowner. Just message, email, phone call the person who lives in the farm, or you can search on Google the place you want to go and see who owns what around there, and just call them up and say, can I pitch a tent on your camp for this night for one night? Often they're going to say yes, and they're not going to have a problem with it. If I'm being completely transparent, I've actually never done that, but I've met other hikers who have. So if that's something you're worried about and you want to set your mind at ease, then that's one thing you can do. If you are going to wild camp, then the way to do it is to go through a sort of set of rules to keep yourself discreet, basically. And one of the ways to do that is by arriving late and leaving early. So you want to pitch your tent as close to sunset as you can, and then break camp after sunrise, don't sleep in all day or whatever. And what this means is that it stops you sort of being an eyesore, it stops loads of other people seeing you, and it keeps you out of the way, basically. You're just there during the hours of darkness and you're not really disturbing anyone. A caveat of that, of not disturbing anyone, is to not play any loud music, don't have any campfires, don't dig up the ground or don't cut down trees, and if you have to go to the toilet, dig it into a ditch and bury it deep, don't sort of leave anything exposed, don't leave any trash around, all that kind of stuff. Just keeping it in your mind to leave no trace and be discreet is really important. And second point about that is sort of choosing where you camp. So obviously, if you're going in a national park and you're camping up, I don't know, near Snowdon or something, or in the Peak Districts, there's not really going to be anyone about. And that's something you should really take into consideration. Don't camp next to a road or a walking path, or don't camp in a farmer's field or down near settlements. When you're out hiking, just try and vie for those areas that are a bit out of the way, a bit more remote, maybe in the lee of a hill or in a little copse of trees where you're slightly out of the way. All these kind of things are going to help you just stay a bit discreet and keep out of people's way, and that makes it much more enjoyable for you and for anyone who's out enjoying the nature as well. And so yeah, those are some of my main tips for how to go wild camping in the UK. Hope you guys have found this useful. There's quite a lot of information, and I've actually written an article on this with more information. It's more in depth. So if you want to go down in the description of this video and then have a look at the article for more info, that'd be great. And leave me any comments and I'll do my best to reply. And thank you, and we'll see you next time.